I started making videos around 6th grade, and I started making them with Legos. My favorite part was once you're done shooting, you can do whatever you want. Like you just bring it into like your computer. It's like, we're gonna have these like shots this way. We're gonna have all this sounds, like explosions and everything. Like you can do whatever you want, and I really like that part of like stop motion. So with editing, it was the same thing with video. You as an editor, your job is to fix it. Sometimes they don't get scenes that they wanted, an actor is gone, like the whole film has changed from like where they wrote it, and now it's your job to work with what they shot in respect to the scripts that they have, which is then a whole new film, and it's really exciting to try to figure out a new story around that, and I really love the process. For a large part of being in Chicago, I wasn't in the greatest mental place. I'm not from Chicago, so it's just a completely different culture that I'm not used to. I was like going through stuff, and I was just like, oh, like nobody knows what it's like to go through my own struggle. Like, I think a big thing for me was finding other art. I read Letters from the Underground by Dostoevsky. And that was a really great book because Dostoevsky is the most sad boy, like 1800s writer in all of history. So then one thing led to another, and I started reading, and I started finding more artists and finding more things, and that really inspired me. I was actively consuming basically to be more happy. And I found a lot of fulfillment in reading about philosophy or reading about poetry. That was like, oh, there actually is stuff out there that talks about like how to be okay with death, or how to like deal with, I don't know, loneliness when society sucks. And then I was just like, well, what else has this? Experimental film is cool because you can just watch it, and no matter what feeling you get, that's the point of it. You know, you can hate it, and that's good. Like you hate it, great. Like you felt something different, or it made you sad. Cool. Okay, cool. It made you sad. That's something different. It's such an intimate thing with you. Like you can have a completely different experience than the person sitting right next to you, and you watch the same film. You know, it's you. It's what you get from it. That's why I like experimental work a lot, because it challenges me to think about a scene differently. Now I'm like, I work in like just colors. It's like, what are these colors making me feel? Or like, what is this movement? Whereas like maybe if I'm just editing like a sit-down conversation, and I'm not saying this is bad, but you're cutting back between, you know, two people, you're just cutting back from face to face. A lot of times you kind of forget what it is that makes the shot interesting. If you're a good editor, you can make anything work. Like I shoot garbage. Like I literally have, I'll actually just bring it up. I like have this camera, and I just go around Chicago, and I'm just shooting whatever like is like, oh, let's film this person walking down the street, or let's film these lights, and it's just random footage. But the way that I edit it is like, okay, something is working here. Experimental helps me a lot because I'm challenging myself all the time to make people feel with like colors or like lights. How do you make someone have empathy for color or for movement? I did this by accident, but like just getting involved in like reading or writing or other forms, you start thinking about film a lot differently. I've dabbled with painting a lot, and painting you think about colors and like shapes. So you have to really think about, okay, does this angle work? Do these colors work? You think about film and all these different things. Like I'm not just thinking about how is the directing happening, I'm thinking about the metaphors, or I'm thinking about the colors. Having more influences outside really help you craft your own style, because then it's like, oh, I like crosshatches in my paintings, or I like poetry about farms. And so then when you combine those, it's like, oh, I actually have a style. Like, oh, this is working in some way, I don't know. Don't be afraid to try new things. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what you're gonna be inspired by. It's always important as an artist to always challenge your creative mind.
Hey all, Connor hopping in for a quick end slate. I learned a lot while making this video and chatting with Rio, and I hope you did too. They're a fantastic artist and their work is going to be linked in the description down below, so please take the time to check that out. Their films are definitely worth giving a watch. The transitions for this episode are using shots from an experimental filmmaker named Clipson. He's somebody Rio actually pointed me to, and he's got a lot up on his Vimeo, so if, like me, this episode is giving you a bit of a hankering for watching something experimental, feel free to check them out. As always, thank you for your time and energy. I hope you're well, and I will see you for the next video.